Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to 24 Chambers of Film. I'm Steven, this is Nathan, and we got another trailer reaction, an A24 film called Y2K. I know it's executive produced by Jonah Hill, and yeah, so let's get into it. It's apparently, from what I understand, comedy, horror, sci fi, like disaster movie type thing genre. So we'll see. Have you heard anything about this or no?
No freaking clue what this is at all whatsoever.
All right. Yeah.
So,
So it's coming out in December, kind of close to the new year, which kind of makes sense for what the movie's about. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's count it down.
I'm assuming it has to do with Y2K.
Yes.
All right,
Like
count
Chris
it
Jericho.
down.
I think Chris Jericho's in it or something.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a joke or if you're being serious.
No, I'm kidding. All right. Three, 2, 1, go.
I like that kid.
Yeah. That was cool. The AOL.
Lucky lady gonna get
Ooh, Alicia Silverstone.
Is that the girl from Snow White
Yeah.
Oh.
catching all the like
Heat,
internet
yeah.
hate?
It's 1999, and we get in.
In a few hours, you have an excuse to kiss the girl of your dreams.
Open up. Take us away.
So smooth.
Is that kid related to Macaulay Culkin or something? Kind of looks like him.
No, he's from Stranger Things, I'm pretty sure.
Him from Stranger Things? I don't. Really?
I think. I could be wrong.
I watched Stranger Things and I don't recognize him.
No, he's not the kid then. My bad.
Dumbass. I use gel.
Varsity Blues, nice.
Varsity Blues. That's funny.
Oh,
Oh, shit. A Tamagotchi just drilled through a chick's head.
Come on, we gotta go.
We are experiencing major problems as a result of the Y2K breakdown.
Bye-bye, human race.
We're talking global computer apocalypse.
Sorry, guys. I guess you're.
They made a video and everything. That's crazy.
that's the director, Kyle Mooney.
You don't know how
Oh, really?
it works.
Yeah, that guy who's smoking the bong.
Grab a bike, grab a board, grab whatever you can. This has been the shittiest night of my life. Fuck this! But it's cool that we got to hang out for once.
Is that Fred
Is
Durst?
that Fred Durst?
Hell yeah. That girl even has like a backwards New York red hat. One of those characters.
I get knocked out, but I get up again.
Nice. Okay. All
Evan
right.
Winter, the other writer. What is he from? His name sounds familiar.
Evan Winter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look this up real quick. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think, Nate? How do you feel about this?
So
You were
right
alive.
off the bat, yeah,
We're both
fuck,
alive.
dude.
We both remember this for sure, very clearly.
Yeah. So I mean, clearly, it's kind of weird now to think about it because if you were, I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be catered, towards it's gonna. I'm guessing, okay, it's gonna be rated R. Okay, so if it's rated R, then you got to be 18, and really, there's like a good amount of there's like 6 years of kids within that span who were 18. If you stretch it out to like maybe 14, you got 10 years of people that, aside from anyone older than that will remember Y2K. And it's definitely, I think it's created for a audience, not for everyone. Like it's not created for the younger kids now because they don't understand what it was to be living in that time, right? So it's definitely seems like a funny throwback. When it first started, actually, I had no clue it was going to be. It didn't even occur to me just because it should have because of the name Y2K, but I didn't think it was going to turn into that. I thought it was going to be like a super bad type movie at first,
It kind of has a little bit of that vibe, but yeah.
Yeah, it does. But then I didn't expect it to turn into like the horror thing.
Yeah,
At all.
a disaster.
Yeah,
film,
disaster horror movie. And it's funny because I don't know, but I'm hoping that it kind of just goes back to kind of that raunchy, raw style of comedy like you saw way back in the day, like with the Superbads and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Like when you saw, since Jonah Hill's producing it, like mid 90s, right? Like
Mhm.
they were just saying whatever in that movie.
Yeah.
And it really, to me, I was like, yeah, like where are these movies nowadays? I feel like they don't get a
Oh, I feel you.
recognition, and then that was really
The,
what,
ra- the raunchy
at least the
comedies, like from
2000s,
the two
man, the late
thousands,
90s,
they're
early
definitely
2000s.
they're definitely not around how it used to be for sure. They're definitely a far in between of films. You know that yeah. Remember in the 2000s, like we were getting like comedy films like multiple every year from at least from
Oh,
2000 to
comedies in
2007.
general. I mean, I think
Yeah,
comedies
I
in
mean
general
2009 for the whole
have
decade.
really
Yeah.
suffered in the last few years. It just, I don't know the reason for that.
Also,
I don't know.
also
They're
no.
worried about what kind of jokes they can't make anymore and stuff
I know
like
what it
that.
is. I know what it is. Part of it is streaming. Part of it is it's not like IP, you know, and part of it is like you said the culture of the PC culture. Like the combination of those three things, I think, are the ingredients of why we haven't gotten those type of movies so much. And they kind of if we do get them, they kind of just get there hasn't been one that's really dropped a bomb and made a huge wave, and they usually
Well,
end
there
up on
hasn't been.
streaming.
I don't think they have the big backing, and even what ends up on streaming, just it seems so. When it comes to comedy movies, it seems so cookie cutter nowadays.
It doesn't have that like gut punch like those movies had of like the humor and the offensive
Yeah.
humor, or just kind of like non PC anymore. Non PC style of comedy. Which trust me, like I want to it's one of those things that I want back. I really am craving for that to be back. It could be in existence. It could coexist with all the other types of comedies. I don't know why
Oh, I
it's
mean,
been,
you guys
but
got to leave it up to people if they want
yeah,
to watch it or not. Like that's really what it
yeah.
should come down to at the end of the day.
But I
If
but
people want to
those.
watch it, it's like remember, sorry,
Mhm.
not to,
No,
but remember
go ahead.
When Dogma was made, right? Like
Yeah,
they didn't want to release it, and who was it? I mean, obviously the motherfuckers got in trouble now, but Weinstein's,
yeah.
like purchased
Yeah,
it, but
not like they have any moral, like real moral compass on
but
like what, but they're
it's
thinking
just so
money,
funny that
they're thinking business because
it was the first argument that came to my mind, and then the fucking Weinstein's the fucking guy that
yeah,
had to back that. So
well,
not the best
yeah,
example, yes,
yeah,
but
the dogma had a lot of controversy, yeah, with a lot of people because of the subject matter of just making a comedy, a raunchy comedy about religion and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it definitely.
I'll tell you this though. I saw a guy comment saying that Dogma's not raunchy. I don't think it's that raunchy either.
It it's not like overtly raunchy, but it is
There's like a
raunchy.
few. There's like some small jokes, but it's so small. I mean, it's nothing
It
like
it it,
Chasing
it
Amy, nothing like Mallrats or Clerks
It,
at all.
it's spread out, but there is a lot. Look, that whole scene at movies with all the shit he's talking about, what these guys have done, it's pretty intense shit. Like
That's not raunchy though. I think you're
the
misinterpreting
subject matter,
raunchy for.
the subject matter is raunchy. What they're talking about, that's what I view it
I
as.
think you're misinterpreting the meaning of raunchy when it
No,
comes to
no,
that kind
I'm
of stuff.
not. It's just a different way of being raunchy. Yeah, it's not like we're not seeing like crazy, super grotesque moments. I mean, there's a
It
fucking
doesn't have to be
there's
grotesque.
you know what I mean, or super overtly things, but their language, they're cussing up a storm. Jay and Silent Bob being in it is always making it raunchy.
What is your opinion on the Y2K trailer?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a fun time. I like I like disaster films like Dante's Peak and stuff like that, and Twister. So, but this is very definitely more like a super bad meets a disaster movie, and set in a year that I'm very fond of, 1999, one of the greatest years of film ever. And I remember the Y2K stuff, so it's gonna be funny seeing all those little nostalgic moments of the just the decade, that year in general of the 90s. So I'm totally
I'm act-
into it. It looks cool. The actors, like I said, I what's his name, the one actor that you mentioned,
the
um
New Zealand kid, right?
Julian Dennison. Yeah, he's funny actor. Rachel Zegler is her name, the one who's playing Snow White. Apparently, Jenna Ortega was casted in this role. excuse me, but she had a scheduling conflict, so she had got recast by Rachel Zegler. So that was supposed to be Jenna Ortega, which would have helped their movie for sure.
Well, I'm actually that was like the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, damn, with all the heat she's catching,
well,
like
now
how
it's
bad is
now it's
that
not
going to
so.
affect this movie?
Yeah, now it's not so great because of the recent heat she's got. But this kid is from It. He was one of the young kids in
Yes,
It.
yes,
That's what
he's
he
the
was
guy
from.
who he's
He
Georgie's
plays the main
brother
guy. Yeah,
in
he
the
plays
new
the main kid.
in the
Yeah.
new it, yeah.
Bill. He plays Bill. He's also a Midnight Special, but yeah, I think. I mean, I would have preferred Jenna Ortega. I think she's a really good actor, and also it just would have obviously that would have been big for them having Jenna Ortega as the main lead,
You know,
female lead.
it's not, I mean, it's not funny. It's unfortunate, but all that negative press does really, I think, weigh on people. Anyone who sits here and says that they're not going to, let that affect them is going to be full of shit because unless they just like people ignore shit when it's like an actor they like a lot or an actress they like a lot. So if someone likes her a lot, yeah, they're going to ignore it. But the general public who's not a regular fan of hers, I don't think they can ignore it because even me, as soon as I started watching the trailer and I saw she was in there, I was like, "Fuck this movie!" This movie started off. I don't know. Just in the first few seconds, I was like, "Okay, it's something I want to
Uh,
watch." And then the minute I saw her in there, I was like, "Oh, great, she's in there." And it just
I
like,
I personally don't give a shit. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me what you said about the Snow White. It doesn't like bother me that much. So that I could get past that. The movie, I try to judge it
no,
as
but I'm talking about for the movie itself. Like it, people don't. You can get
yeah.
past it, but I think a lot of
That's
people
what I'm
can't
talking
get
about.
past
I'm
it,
saying I
and
can get past it, but I know
it's
people.
going
Yeah,
to. It
people
is,
are gonna
you
be.
know.
People are people. They're gonna. Some people can't get past those things, and that's fine. And like I said, it if they would have had Jenna Ortega, it would have definitely been. I feel like the movie would have made more money for sure. So now it's banking that it has strong word of mouth and that it's really good and people dig it. So because I think on just the basis of I think the concept is strong of it being Y2K and then the electronics start killing everybody and taking over. That's a cool concept. It's strong. Um, so I feel like that could help it a little bit. But if they would have had that extra oomph with like Jenna Ortega instead of Rachel Zegler, it would have definitely probably gave it a pretty good, for sure, return. I think of people checking it out and getting at least making a little bit of their money back, guaranteed. But who knows? Maybe it's a really good and it gets a strong word of mouth and people come out to see it. Maybe I don't know what's going up that weekend, so maybe he gets lucky and December 6th, and there's nothing too crazy coming out that weekend, and it gets it gets a strong opening weekend because it doesn't have a lot of competition. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that could go really bad or really good for them. So yeah, we'll find out. But I'm gonna watch it in theaters for sure. I think it looks funny. It looks like a good time. Looks like it's gonna be very well paced. It's gonna move. And like I said, I do like those two actors, especially that the I think he's Australian, right? Uh,
I
New Zealand, New
believe he's
Zealand.
from
You're
New
right.
Zealand.
Yeah, the New Zealand actor Julian Dennison. I really want to. And then Fred Durst is in the movie. That is him. And he's playing Fred Durst. So yeah. I've never seen Kyle Mooney, the writer director, and his co-writer Evan Winters. Like they you don't know that guy, the Evan Winters guy.
His name just sounds familiar. There's another guy whose name is Evan Winters or something.
Yeah. But
Evan.
I looked at his credits, and I'm like, Nathan does not know who this guy is.
Okay.
But Kyle Mooney, he's kind of, I think he's done mostly like music videos, or I don't know, or like other type of. Oh no, he's an actor too, so he kind of comes from being an actor first, and yeah, this is his first film that he's directing. So he doesn't have any other directing credits. He's more of an actor first. So yeah, it should be interesting. I'm curious to see how he does. Yeah, he has 79 credits as an actor. So yeah,
Here's what I hope because it's A24 and I feel like A24 kind of doesn't give a F. Like they kind of seem to go with what they think is good. So I hope it's a raunchy comedy. I hope it just make offhand jokes and all that kind of stuff. That's really what I'm hoping for. I feel like I don't get that with movies, especially with comedies. Like I can't think of a recent comedy that I felt like, oh, this is a fucking hilarious movie. Like they're funny, but it's almost like all the same stuff is regurgitated now. And again, I haven't seen anything, but I almost stay away from comedies. Like like I feel like every comedy that comes out now is like a Kevin Hart comedy, or that style of
yeah,
comedy, right? Something with John Cena or something like that, you
Yeah,
know?
there's a lot of.
And
I mean, there's a lot of softball comedies too, and there's also a lot of like, I don't know. They just don't have like usually like really great third acts or climaxes. You know, a lot of those movies. I don't know. I hope it delivers. I think it will.
if you like, raunchy, non-PC humor, let us know in the comments. Or are you anti that kind of stuff? Let us know either way. Let us know if you think this looks good. If you think this is going to be that type of movie, and if you guys plan on watching it, does Jonah Hill being a producer make you not want to watch it? Does what's that girl's name?
Rachel Zegler.
If you care about her being in the movie, does that affect you watching the movie? Let us know in the comments. Either way, appreciate you guys tuning in. Smack a like on the video, subscribe to the
Oh
channel.
wait, one
And
final thing. Dogma is raunchy comedy, and yeah, okay, like, subscribe.